Welcome to the Greatness Together podcast. Curious minds unite. Mother-daughter conversations that delve into the heart of psychology. Thanks for joining us. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Greatness Together podcast. It's another solo episode. Simone is head down in some pretty intense exams and also getting ready to take her fall semester or her winter semester in Finland. So we're giving her a hot minute for that. But actually, what I have for you is super bite-sized, totally fantastic. I don't know where this acronym has been all of my life. And it comes courtesy of a wonderful speaker friend, a musician, an incredible educator. His name is Barry Green. I had the privilege of being on his podcast, and he taught me this. I gotta love it when I'm supposed to show up to serve them, and I always end up learning something. So this acronym, I am 49 years old. I wish that somebody had told me this earlier because it sums up, in a nutshell, how to make sure I know if I am doing okay. This acronym allows you to have a bit of a litmus test about, do you have all the ingredients to be able to satisfy, productive, optimistic, and yes, physically and mentally healthy. So let me jump right into it. It's called slower. And before I tell you what each of these elements means, I would invite you to think about, what are the things that you know when you are at your best, you're most resourceful? What are the elements that exist in your world, in your life? I bet you're going to come up with a bunch of these. And what I love so much about this acronym is, with it literally being slower as the acronym, is that we've probably all experienced that sometimes you have to get slower or slow down in order to manage the pace as things speed up. We talked so much about the pace of change, the pace of today's world. And so here's our grounding force. When we get slower, we can actually get faster because we are operating at a more efficient level, socially, emotionally, and physically. So let's dive into it. Slower. S, sleep. We actually just had the podcast, Simone and I talked about this, how important sleep is. Sleep hygiene, having a healthy mindset and belief about sleep, doing some research. If our bodies are changing, if you're going through menopause, if you have a new baby, if you have a roommate for the first time, don't assume that sleep isn't available to you. Sleep is fundamental. We literally are starting with sleep. And sleep, if we don't have it, is a form of torture. They literally use it as a form of torture. So if we don't have sleep, then everything else feels harder. And literally is harder. Our cognitive processing slows down. Our emotional regulation is encumbered. Our memory functions are inhibited. So we need to value sleep. So that's S. L is laughter. Some of us may think, oh, is this laughter something you do on weekends, on vacation, when you have best friend time? Laughter needs to be all the time. Why do you think that you can sometimes see somebody on the train beside you or on the bus and they're watching a TikTok video and they're laughing? Because we all need laughter all the time. I just tell my husband, if we're trying to go to sleep, can you not be watching TikTok? Because inevitably what you feel in the bed is shake, 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 because he's laughing. So there's a time and a place for laughter, In all seriousness, how much do we make room for laughter? And how much do we give space for laughter in places that are very serious, like work? I say all the time, do not have a funeral for me. Have a conversation. Talk about weird, wacky things that I did, memories. Like, sure, if you want to cry, by all means cry. I'm hoping that you're going to be bothered by the fact that I'm not there, but definitely laugh. And really, that's sometimes how we manage the hardest things in life, is through laughter. It's also how we handle the everyday things in life. So sleep, S, L, laughter, O, oxygen. Getting outside, not only does it allow your body to have the kind of nourishment, our cells need it. We take deeper breaths. I mean, as you, I think, know, I'm a certified yoga teacher now, not because I teach yoga in a studio, but because I want to be able to breathe, be more mindful, work my body, motionless lotion, be able to have a more resourceful way that I show up with the only thing that I was given when I landed on this earth, and that is my body. So oxygen is a way, and breathing, deep, constructive breathing, being outside and getting pure oxygen. When you have a choice, do you stay inside or do you walk outside? Even if it's just short, getting a little bit of that fresh oxygen wherever possible. When I'm traveling, when I'm on the road, every single day, even if it is just standing in front of that revolving door outside of the convention center, I still try to stand outside for at least 5 minutes, preferably put on my running shoes or my loafers and go for a walk, a couple of blocks even at minimum. And it's amazing. I'm sure we've all experienced this, how cleansing, how much clearer, how much more ready you are for the next thing rather than just going on to the next thing. All right, so sleep, laughter, oxygen, water. Water, always having it with you. I tell my kids how in university, we didn't have those refillable water stations or water bottles, and virtually nobody was selling water. If anything, it was the really fancy French stuff that us university students could not afford. Swells didn't exist. We didn't give away swag of water bottles. So what did we bring? Juice boxes. Yeah, I walked around university, grad school as well, with juice boxes. Now, that was 30 years ago. But now we know how important water is. In fact, there's even these things. Do you have them? Have you ever bought those buckets that say, it's like a bucket and it'll like almost good start, and then it'll be almost there, and it has kind of these motivational sayings to be able to drink those gallons of water every day. We know how important water is. And yet, when we get to the end of the day, or if you shift from, maybe you do a good job at your desk or in your everyday work life of drinking water, but then on weekends, it's halfway through Sunday, you're like so parched, you're thinking, oh my gosh, my whole body system, it feels drier and it doesn't feel like, I don't feel like myself, probably because our water habits have changed. So bringing water with you when you're traveling, have empty water bottles with you that you can fill up when you're traveling on the road. Don't assume that wherever you're going will have water. Bring it with you. Exercise. And hey, you can combine the oxygen and the exercise. As I was mentioning to you, if I put on my loafers and I walk around the block a couple of times, that's exercise and oxygen, right? You don't have to do exercise any one way. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to run. You don't have to stretch. Like if your version of exercise is, Barry was sharing, he loves to box. I'm assuming this is boxing. I'm picturing that if you're seeing the visual of this, pretend there's like a bag, those little mini bags. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a boxer because I don't even know what I'm doing. Looks like I'm doing some kind of dance. But hey, that's for me. Exercise for me. My preferred form, dance. And yoga, obviously. So there's no one way to do it. My husband likes to scuba dive. I personally prefer to be able to breathe my own natural oxygen and not possibly stay on the bottom of the ocean. But for Mark, he loves that. That is a great form of exercise. Man, is that a full body workout trying to get in and out of the water with all those tanks. We all have our thing. If you think, I don't like exercise, I don't like working out, I would invite you to think about, have you found the exercise that works for you? There is 100, probably more different types of exercise out there. Consider what it is. And it doesn't have to be what you would typically consider exercise. As I say, if it isn't something that would be in a gym or taught in your gym class, doesn't mean it's not exercise. So consider what do you find joyful? Because there could be some kind of physical version of that. Something I've just purchased is a walking treadmill that goes with a stand-up desk. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see if I'm having a phone meeting, why not be walking and getting a few steps in? We'll see. It might be kind of weird if I were physically in a visual meeting with people where they see my head bopping up and down, but if I'm just having a regular conversation. So consider how your body is keeping score about how well you're doing. If you are feeling tight, if you're finding pains that you didn't know, like, where did that come from? Consider that those are clues to your body that it needs to move, or it might need to strengthen that area as well. So let your body tell you what it needs, and exercise of some shape or form, and maybe light strengthening, light stretching, that may be what it needs every day, a little bit, even 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. And R is real food. Real food meaning it came out of the earth, or somebody baked it with minimal ingredients that you can cook it yourself, that you can assemble it. Real food isn't the kind that you pull off the styrofoam top and you put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, or it's got batter on it. If you have this very complicated relationship with Uber Eats in which it knows you better than your family does, that's not real food. So consider, and I'd say this with zero judgment, because hey, we're all doing the best we can, right? However, planning and preparation allows you to have real food in the house. And if you have real food in the house, you're more likely to eat it. Because if you get home from school, from work, from the gym late, and you have hummus and a bunch of carrots and a block of cheese in your fridge, you're going to go and eat the carrots and the hummus and the block of cheese, as opposed to phoning for takeout or eating the sleeve of cookies. And again, zero shame. If you want to eat a sleeve of cookies, if that's like living your best life that particular day, we all have days like that. It's just the real food, the amount of minerals and vegetables, and the closer we get to the actual place where that food, the ingredients were grown, the closer we get to that, and the closer we get in time to when that food was pulled out of the ground. Or if you enjoy meat, if you buy it from your local butcher, you buy it from a local farmer. If you like eggs, if you get it from somebody who, is raising chickens, and it was literally, they laid those eggs that day versus it's sitting on a shelf for weeks, because eggs last a long time. They're natural food, right? So that's our goal. The closer we get to the farmer, to the source, to the original way in which it came to us, the better. And this is getting slower. So maybe this Saturday, slowly get up, get sleep in, stretch, have a little stretch before you get out of bed. There's maybe your little exercise for the day. Head over to your farmer's market, buy lots of bright vegetables and some nice grainy bread, or something that is made with minimal artificial ingredients. Talk to people, laugh a little bit with some folks, enjoy the company of people in your community, and drink a little bit of that fresh water. Skip the pop, the juice, that extra coffee. Drink a little bit of water and see how you feel. I'm willing to bet you're going to feel pretty darn fantastic. My name's Sarah McVanel. Happy to be one of the co-hosts here of the Greatness Together podcast, wishing you a joyful, healthy, happy, enriching life. Thanks so much for joining us for the Greatness Together podcast. Never miss an episode. Subscribe wherever you catch your podcasts. Yours in greatness, Simone and Sarah.